Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhasha Shudharini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it's the famous shloka, Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 13th verse. Dehinasmini yatha dehe, kaumaram yauvanam jara, tatha dehantara prapti, dhirasatrana muhyati. As an embodied soul continuously passes in this body, from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. It's one of the beautiful shlokas. Just let us see what's happening. Arjuna has spent the first chapter explaining why he doesn't want to fight. Some people have calculated many reasons, 4 or 5 reasons he has given. And one of the reasons Arjuna said that he doesn't want to kill his grandfather and does not want to kill his teacher. Okay? And he also doesn't want to kill all the relatives there on the battlefield. And Arjuna, after seeing all this, he starts crying. Tam tadha kripaya vishtam ashupunaksha. Eyes are filled with tears. And he says, I will not fight. And at the same time, he realized that everybody is waiting for him to fight. And Krishna, when he heard that, he said, Hridaya Daurbalyam. This is Arjuna, all your weakness of the heart. And Arjuna understands the situation. Something is wrong. He's actually, even though he says, there is never in the mind one track of thought, he's confused. Because he says, I don't know what should I do. Should I fight this war or I should not fight this war? He says before surrendering. So he completely surrenders to Krishna. Please guide me. And Krishna immediately takes the role of a teacher. First he smiles, and then he takes the role of a teacher. We analyze one full class why Krishna smiled. And after that, Krishna told him the famous shloka, Ashochan anvashochastam pragya vadam sabhashase gatasun agatasun cha nanushocanti pandita. They are lamenting for what is not worthy of lamentation. Intelligent people don't speak like this, Arjuna. Correct. But Krishna doesn't end here. Now the Gita, in summary, Krishna scolds him. You have spoken like a fool now. It's not. And then the first thing Krishna spoke was the last class we have last Sunday. Natvayvaham natunasam natvam neva janadipaha navchaiva na bhavishyama sarvevayam atha param. Natvayvaham natunasam. There was never a time, Arjuna, natu evaham jatunasam. That aham, that I was not there. Natvam, you were not there. Janadipa, ime jana adipaha. All these kings are not there. There was never a time like this. Nachayava na bhavishyama sarveva atha param. There will never a time will come that we will not cease to exist. So this is something new. Never a time we individuals, and not only that we existed, then there was never a time. We explained in the last class, Krishna rejects atheism and Mayavadism on one shloka. One shloka. Okay? Because there was never a time I did not exist or you did not exist, all these kings. So Mayavada says we were together. Prabhupada, what is the nonsense? This shloka doesn't agree to that, because it says there was never a time you were not there, I was not. These kings, we are talking about individualities being eternal. Mayavada philosophy says that we were actually one, and now we are broken into pieces and we are separated. And when we become self-realized, we will become one. So reject it, because he says never a time will there when I will not exist, you will not exist, these kings will not exist. So we are never going to become one. because they will continue to exist eternally as separate individuals on the authority of Krishna. And the previous line says, we were never one because I was there, you were there, these kings were there. Our individuality existed. Okay? So Krishna in one shloka itself defeats Mayavada, in one shloka itself defeats also the atheism. Because atheists say, I came into being now and I will vanish up tomorrow. Correct? So Krishna rejects atheism also. But now for atheists, one more shloka. In fact, when Prabhupada was in one place, one reporter came to Prabhupada. Swamiji, can you scientifically tell us how soul exists? Because that is the foundation. Prabhupada says, Krishna says so. Swamiji, I want a scientific answer. So Prabhupada said, what more scientific it can be? The best authority is telling, you are not body, you are a spirit soul. What more scientific you want? Now Swamiji, I want a scientific, that conversation is very interesting. 7-8 times here. I want a scientific answer. Prabhupada says, see, look, Krishna cannot make a mistake. Krishna is telling you are not body, you are a spirit soul. You can't understand. Swamiji, can I have a scientific answer? Then Prabhupada said, okay, dull it, hello. Dehe asmini yatha dehe. Actually, that is how a devotee has to know. We have to learn. We have been brainwashed into a stupid system of Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha system is for fools. Research system is for fools. In every university, if your college doesn't do research, they will de-recognize your college, correct? And every year, if you want promotion, you have to submit some research paper, correct? So all these institutes are research institutes. Vedas reject research as a source of knowledge. This is revolutionary. Why? What research you can do? They say you are defective, your processor is also defective. What research you will do? Whatever you make, even one top Nobel laureate has agreed today, even if you make instruments to see something which is beyond our range of perception, correct? Because my eyes can see only a certain limit, my ears can hear, so I can make some instrument to expand it. They say, but we make it with the defective senses and we are seeing it with the defective senses again. So defectiveness doesn't go away. You got it? You're designing with a defective mind and defective senses and then going to see it with the defective senses because they're going to control it and then process with the defective processor. So how can you be sure about the result? Vedas reject. They say, therefore we learn from supreme authority. They say, no, you will hear from authority. It's not that the Pratyaksha you will not come to the conclusion, but you will waste a lot of time. Just like suppose, I say this is made of, I think this is brass. I say this is made of brass. Okay? And I am an authority. I am a metallurgist who has got a lot of degrees. And I say that. You can accept it, you save a lot of time. But you say, no, I don't accept any authority. You go, do research. It will take some time, you will come to the same conclusion. It's not that we are discarding Pratyaksha, but we are saying that it takes a lot of time. Where is the time? Why waste time? Correct? Just like when I come to a doctor, and this we have explained 100 times, but it's very important. I go to a doctor and I say, I am having a sight problem. I went to one doctor and he says 1.75. How you are managing, he asked me first. So anyway, the point is, not Swakatha is not important, Krishna Katha is important. The point is that after the doctor says that, it's not that he does the testing, he says see this, and they have something to see nowadays. It's not that I don't agree to the doctor, then what is the way? I can, definitely it will come 1.75 if I also study and how to find what is my, this thing, correct? I'll come to the same conclusion, but I'm saving so much time when I accept a word of a authority. So how much unfortunate the whole world is. They are missing words of the greatest authority. What misfortune it is. Okay? Krishna is giving, Prabhupada says, there is no comparison, there is no competition. Each word is for the good of the humanity. Whatever Krishna speaks, each word is for our good. But how unfortunate we are, we don't accept Krishna's words. You will come, if you are fortunate, come to the same conclusion, but after millions of births. If you take it here, over. One line, it's over. Krishna's, and this is actually Many devotees who are in BI have broke their head over it. Now I'll explain this shloka better. Prabhupada starts by saying, and the shloka is very clear, easy to understand. We all had a childhood body. Prabhupada says, it is only because you are brainwashed by atheists we find it difficult to understand this. For a common man who has not been brainwashed by atheists, that is science today, in 5 minutes he can understand this. It is only because of bewilderment. We don't understand why society is not accepting this argument. One reason is they are dull-headed. Mandas mandamate. Number two is that they say we are brainwashed. They have brainwashed. Therefore, people find it, even though they may be not so dull intelligent, they find it difficult to understand because they are biased. And another reason they don't understand is their life is sinful. Because if they come to know that soul is permanent and after this life there will be a day of judgment and I will be taken to the court of Yamaraj, punishment might happen, they are shudder at the thought. So better to forget it. And Prabhupada gives an example of a rabbit, a small, even children's, when the great fear happens, they close their eyes. Ostrich also. I have seen my cat at home. We had a small cat and a big cat one day attacked. And it stood somewhere, passed stool urine there only and closed its eyes. And we were watching that. It happens, Animals, small animals also do sometimes, and some specific ostrich and all are not do. So same way, people want to close their eyes to the reality. I told you many times at home when I used to talk about that. ये अपशकुन है, इसके बात नहीं करने का ऐसा. When you ask a question at home, what happened when we die, I die? Hey, ये सब बात नहीं करने का घर में. They don't want to talk about death. True, people don't want to talk about it. Not considered very auspicious to talk about death at all. But this shloka is actually very straight. Somebody wants to know the truth. It is very simple. We embodied Dehina asmini yatha Dehe. Dehe means the body. Dehina means the Pajasara of the body. Sharira, Sharirina. Krishna uses the word. Nitya Ukta, Sharirinaha. What is the shloka? What is shloka? Nitya Ukta, Sharirinaha. The body is temporary and the soul is permanent. Avinashit tadvidna. This is another one. Try to get that. So, changing his body, first understand this. We had a childhood body, we have a youth body, we have an old body. Dehina asmini yatha dehe, in this body, the Pajasara of the body. Krishna uses the word Dehina. Sees three stages. Kaumaram, Yauvanam, Chara. He is going to experience three stages. Now let us understand this one. We had a childhood form. All had it. That form is gone. We have a youth form. Some of us presently. And some of us now going towards Jara. All the three forms, I am the same person. Now we should introspect on this for days altogether to realize this fundamental foundation of spiritual life. Spiritual life will not start if this is not understood. Spiritual life is not doing good and all. That's rubbish. That's no use. Spiritual life means to understand I am not body. That spirit you have to understand. No, what is spiritual then? Most of the spiritual organizations, they do some welfare activities. Correct? That is not spiritual. Spiritual means based on spirit. So first you have to understand what is spirit. Most of the people, therefore, they don't grow in spiritual life because they don't pass the ABCD nursery exam. So where they will go to first class? They will sit down and intro. Krishna is telling, let me sit and think. If Krishna is telling an argument, can't I understand it? Now somebody said, Krishna, whatever the religion speak is beyond logic. Krishna speaks illogically. If you go and sit in front of Krishna, Krishna will speak illogically. It is reasonable, no, what Krishna says? True, isn't it? Krishna is talking to Arjuna. It is very reasonable and logical. But we have to accept Krishna's logic and give up our logic. That is called surrender. It's not that it is beyond logic. People say, no, why you are arguing, understanding. It is all beyond logic. There was some nonsense, some people say, that you bury the people now And one day will come when from the grave they will get up and they will start walking. So somebody told to Prabhupada, he was his disciple because he belonged to some faith where such thing is spoken. Prabhupada said, isn't it nonsense? So even the both, Adam and his story is also absolute rubbish. Adam Eve story, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, absolute rubbish, and it's only a propaganda. That apple story. Absolute rubbish. And this is another, this is the birth story, this is the death story. They say one day you bury everybody, one day they will get up from the grave, and they have so many movies, horror movies, it happens at the end. Prabhupada looked at the disciples' eyes. Do you think it is nonsense? I said, yes, Guru, it is nonsense. But but I asked my fellow, and he said, you have to accept it because it's certain things are beyond your inconceivable. Just like we also say inconceivable. Prabhupada says, see, it cannot be dogmatic. That is called dogmatic. Dogmatic. Many people say that. I was talking to some student. You should come to temple. Participate in the program. Sir, what? I have to come there like a bakra. I have to accept whatever you say. Correct? They think it is like that because that is the kind of experience the parents give them. They say you have to do this bhuta puja and eat chicken. We ask them 2 questions. See, this all you cannot understand. It's all inconceivability. Correct? It can't be dogmatic. It has to be reasonable. See how reasonable Krishna is speaking. Now, which person with intelligence can deny that? We had a childhood body, we have a youth body, you're going to have an old body, but you're the same person. Body changes. Now there is something called, some people will get hurt, but there is something called Bardman paradigm. It's a paradigm that Rasaraj Prabhu explains. That's why I'm going to come to the point, changing body at every moment now. He says, that's how many hairs I have to lose, then you call me Bard. Because if you say boyhood, youth and old age, then what stage do you call me youth? Just like if I take your Honda car, okay, and I put mirror of Mercedes, then I put tire of Mercedes. At what stage you will call me Mercedes? Okay? It's very, because then because it's become split, old means, I'll become old, still I'm not agree I'm old. Actually I'm on the 3rd stage already. So where do you make a difference? The Prabhupada therefore is saying these people are so dull, they may go for the Baldwin paradigm, correct? Where to call or when to call the car has changed. They may. So therefore Prabhupada says changing body at every moment. That is general understanding Krishna has given. But if you go more detailed, actually we are changing body at every moment. Why? At every moment millions of cells are died. And every moment millions of cells are come. It's a different body. And Prabhupada gives a very nice example. Just like in a movie you have that. Somebody is moving his hand, different photograph. But actually when you play it looks same. So similarly at home, we undergo this paradigm. We don't know. Suppose some friend sees you or some relative sees you after 5 years. Hey, you have grown so much, but at home they don't feel your growth. You're like, because every moment they are seeing you. So similarly, we are not able to see how the body is changing ourselves. Otherwise, if we take a photograph of childhood and youth and old age, we will see tremendous change. Correct? And we will then wonder. Because we don't feel the change because the different slides, when they're moving together, we feel it is continuous. We see I am growing. Actually, I am not growing. I am changing. But I am not able to see that. But the fact is, I am not only changing from boyhood to youth to old age, I am changing body at every moment. Every moment, material nature is supplying me different body. I am Atma, I am independent of this, but the nature is giving me same deha illa, bhinna deha. Every moment, pratishana bhinna deha ide. Kaumara, Yavana, Jamara. Okay, this is understood? This is very important point first. And then Prabhupada says, a person is called Dhira. Now many people have the definition. He is cool, he is sober. You say like that. Dhira is this. When he sees Kaumaram, Yauvanam, Jara, he understands Tatha Dehantara Prapti, he'll have another body. Because the childhood body died, actually, it is gone. Still, youth person is existing. Youth body dies. Old age, youth body destroyed actually. The old age body comes. When the old age body is destroyed, we get another body. When somebody is able to realize this, then he is called Dhira. Then he is called cool. Dhira means real. I have developed a word. Prabhupada used to laugh because in America they have a cigarette called Kool, K-O-O-L. Very famous cigarette, big brand. The Prabhupada said, how much contradiction it is. He's smoking fire and he calls himself cool. And he's laughing. He said, we are not such fools to get cheated by this propaganda. He's smoking fire and he's cool. The same way here, people say Dhira, but Dhira is actually no, this realization is not easy. It's not easy. Correct? Little difficulty in life, we ourselves sake fall, we get frightened. It's not easy. When life and death thing comes for us, we become fully frightened. Correct? We panic. Dhira. It's very Dhira, Adhira, Janapriyo. Correct? We have to become Dhira. And Krishna's standard of Dhira is very high. See, we have to attract Krishna by our qualities. And Krishna can become attracted. One of the qualities is you become Dhira. The great saints are there, they are dear to everybody. Dhira, Dhira, all like them. But Dhira you become, because Krishna has given this executive. Dhira tatarana mohyati. They will not get bewildered by the change of body. It's easy to say many lifetimes. There was one example in Bhagavatam of that. Dadhichi Muni. When they wanted to fight with Vritasura, they don't know how to fight. No weapons were working. And they were to go with war. His size is like, Devatas are like insects in front of him. Vritasura was created by, that's another issue. So now what happened was, they ran to Vishnu. Devatas always ran to Vishnu. They say, do one thing. You can't fight with him. You need a weapon. Go to Dadhichi. His bones you need. You have read that. You need his bones. With his bones, you will. Who will make Vishwakarma? Somebody. You will say, who will make that? You can make using his bones. I think somebody is going to design a weapon. That will you can kill him. But you need his bones. So they go to Dadhichi. Actually, he was Dhira. First he smiles. Arey, you are talking about life is so dear. So wonder how can I give my life? People are. Can you go to somebody? I want your liver. Give me your bones. Not easy, no? First he laughs, he makes fun of, because he is on a very advanced level, Devatas are still attached to why they are fighting first. They are attached to position, power, money, but he is detached, he is a great saint. So finally he, okay, take my body, gives his body. It's not easy actually. That is the condition of, we can say, Dhira. Any other condition you have of Dhira? Somebody acted like Dhira in the Bhagavatam. Okay, one example, Dhira, or the most sober man. Such a man is never deluded by the change of bodies. He is not. And then Prabhupada says the Mayavadis, again he comes to Mayavada because I met recently so many people, mostly attached to the Mayavada institution, and they speak Mayavadas. Therefore, why Prabhupada keeps saying Mayavada, Mayavada? Because 99% people, if you follow spiritualism, they follow Mayavada. First they are atheist. That is one category. Other, if they come to spiritual, mostly they are Mayavadi. Therefore, you see Prabhupada again and again. It's not redundant. It's needed. Therefore, Prabhupada keeps talking about that. They say that the Supreme Lord can be broken. But Prabhupada says, how can be broken? If the absolute truth cannot change. If it can be broken, it is changed. What is the definition of absolute truth? Absolute truth means final. Absolute it is not. Just like your relative. Now you are there because your father is there. Your father is there because his grandfather is there. Correct? We are relative truth. We are not absolutely existing independent. We are existing dependent. Therefore we are relative. In Siddhanta, philosophy, absolute truth means final. So how can final thing change? Then what is final about it? It's common sense actually. So they are saying no, absolute truth broke. Break. It's not reasonable, that argument. Prabhupada is saying it's not. Now Prabhupada is giving the real Siddhanta. We all know that, but somebody make it very clear if there is some mistake. As contained in the Gita, the fragmental portion of the Supreme exists eternally. Mamev Amsha. Amsha means, Prabhupada translated so nicely, part and parcel. Part, because, and parcel. We are sample Krishna. And we are small part of it. Correct? But Sanatana, eternally. We can't say a date of creation. Some people say, what date I was born from Krishna? Eternal it is. You can't understand. The first thing is the eternal time and scale. And Prabhupada many times clarified, we are expanded from Krishna. It's like a spark comes from fire. You can't say what date spark to birth from fire. Spark was already in fire. You can't do like that division. Expanded from Krishna, not created from Krishna. These are Siddhantas. You have to understand all this. Fragmental portion Supreme exists eternally. Sanatana. Soul is eternal. First thing, material time and scale, don't talk it there. Because here in this world, everything has a date of creation. Spiritual world is eternal world. There is a different, nothing is born there. It's eternal. Therefore, if you go modern newspapers, daily will go there with the empty news. They will not get any news. Because no death happens there, no birth happens there, no disaster happens there. So no news for them. Their only news is all this. And are called Shara. Shara means they have a tendency to fall down into the material nature. Correct? Shara, Akshara. These fragmented portions are eternally so. And even after liberation, the individual soul remains the same fragmental. But once liberated, he lives an eternal life in bliss and knowledge with the personality of Godhead. This is the summary of our message of Krishna consciousness. I was thinking we should have some pamphlets also, and we have the summary, essence of Krishna consciousness. When you meet people, at least some people, if they can't read book this much, if they can accept and chant Hare Krishna, okay. Prabhupada used to many times say, if they read one page of my book carefully, just by doing that, they go back to Godhead. Correct? So this paragraph is like that. If they can understand this much, go back to Godhead. That's all. Chant Hare Krishna, go back to Godhead. Nothing else. They can meditate on this, just go back to Godhead. Eternally part and parcels with the Lord, but we can live liberated, we can live in bliss and knowledge with the personality of Godhead. And then some people say, no, Arjuna, Krishna are the same level. Then Prabhupada says, what all this you're talking? There is something more. Yes, here it is. This is such instruction would be useless, because in the clutches of Maya, no one can be an authoritative instructor. So we know where our position is. This instructor refers to Acharya. Whatever he speaks, because he is free from Maya, is an absolute truth. Because he is absorbed in Brahman, is an absolute truth. Correct? Tasmad Guru Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreyam Uttamam. Then Shabde Parecha Nishnatam Brahmani Pushamashaya. Fully fixed on absolute truth. So every word coming from a liberated soul is therefore he can speak authoritatively. Whatever he speaks is like an incarnation of Krishna. Whatever he speaks is final. Under the Sarga, it is admitted the Lord Krishna is a supreme Lord, superior to the position of the living entity, and Arjuna, who is a forgotten soul, deluded by Maya. He has taken a role like that. Arjuna is the Nitya Siddha, but he has taken a role of a like us. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhagavad Gita ki.